Hello, everyone. Welcome to Power Hour today. We are delighted to have you joining us. It's really hard to believe that September is already here. Labor Day is gone, and now it's moving right into the busy fall season for festivals and events. And we know there are many of those that are coming up in Jasper County, Hardyville, Bluffton, as well as Hilton Head Island. And I hope that you'll get a chance to participate and enjoy many of those great fall festivals that are taking place in the region. And then also would be remiss if I didn't mention that on October the 15th, we'll all gather once again for our State of the Region. It's a chamber event that's been going on for over 25 years now and bringing together leaders of the community, elected officials, etc., for a great afternoon of conversation and discussion. So mark your calendars today. It will be October the 15th at the Hilton here on Hilton Head Island. But before we dive in, just want to also say a thank you to so many that have already taken our residents' sentiment survey on tourism this year. The responses have been coming in very, very quickly, and we're most appreciative of that. I will remind you that it's the largest survey of its kind in the region, which gives us valuable insight to ensure that tourism is balanced with our resident quality of life. So if you haven't taken it, please do. And if you need a link to that, it's in our chat box, which is here today. You know, we have another super lineup for you today that we're really excited about, and we're going to talk about a little bit about law enforcement, regional growth, as well as our own beloved USCB Sand Sharks. So with us today, first off the tee this morning, I like to say first off the tee with the sheriff, we have Sheriff P.J. Tanner. Sheriff Tanner has served Beaufort County since 1999 as sheriff and is now in his seventh term. He's a lifelong resident of Beaufort County and began his career in the sheriff's office as a deputy just a few years ago when he was 21. He served as a patrol deputy, investigator, drug force commander, SWAT team leader, and many other things before being elected to sheriff. Sheriff Tanner, we're thankful to you for your leadership through the years. We're glad you're still doing your sheriffing job, and we're delighted to have you with us today. So welcome on, and we're looking forward to your updates on everything from ICE to hurricane planning or anything else, Sheriff, that might be on your mind this morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Great to see you, Sheriff.
You as well. I've got, there's a lot of things that, I would like to talk about, but unfortunately, most of the things I can't talk about. So, I mean, I can definitely say that so far this year, within our hurricane season time frame, we've been very lucky, very fortunate that we haven't had any real issues with any storms. Everything looks pretty good right now on the horizon. I think we're in pretty good shape, hopefully for the rest of this season. And maybe we'll make it through without any problems. I know that the 287G contract with Homeland Security has been, somewhat of a concern for some residents in Beaufort County. We're still in process. We have signed the MOU. We are waiting to send our deputies that we select to training. And once the training is completed, then we'll be able to do what we need to do under the MOU. We are probably still 2 months out. I would feel comfortable saying that we should ever have the officers trained, and they will be certified and able to do what they need to do probably by the end of October. So we're still a couple months out, but again, this is a process. It's sometimes it might be a little slower than we expected, but again, it is a process. So, I mean, there are a lot of things that are going on throughout the county, as you know, and there are a lot of things that we're working on, not only internally in-house, but externally. Our positions are filling, so our new salary scale and pay plan that we started in July is working. So we expect to have more of our vacancies filled by the end of the year. Our recruitment efforts and our retention has worked quite well. So very pleased to let everyone know that. But there's still work that needs to be done, and we're competing with the federal government. We're competing with the military. In this new administration, we've seen a boost with college age kids, and also 18, 19, 20-year-old men and women that have looked at the military as a career, which we appreciate that. And they're also looking at federal jobs, with Border Patrol and some of the other things. It's tough to compete with the federal government when it comes to salaries and benefits and retirement. But we're holding our own, and I think we're doing a good job. We still do have some locals within Beaufort County or within South Carolina that are still looking at law enforcement as a profession. We encourage them to do that, but we also know that there are other opportunities that are available to them. So we're trying to just make sure that we're competitive in that area. So that's kind of my small brief. I'd love to entertain any questions. I have a conversation with things you want to talk about. So Bill, I'll just throw that out to you and see if anyone has any questions or any concerns or any recommendations.
All right, Sheriff, great. Thank you. Yes, the first question we have is from Martha, and Martha's asking, what's the top concern you're hearing from citizens regarding the ICE certifications?
Well, most of the concerns that I've been confronted with in the two meetings I had, both a meeting in northern Beaufort County and southern Beaufort County, and I asked the groups that I met with to give me examples of their concerns locally, and they couldn't. A lot of the concerns that the rhetoric that came out of those meetings was things that everyone has seen on the national media front, so I can't do anything and really can't answer any questions for anyone about what's happening in New York and Washington and Los Angeles and some of the other Chicago and some of the other locations. But this program was very successful for us when we had it before. And now that we're rejoining the 287G contract, I think the success of this program will be similar to what we had when we had it before. So I think there's some fears that really aren't reality when it comes to what we're doing and what the program benefits are when we talk about public safety. But if you research it and you look at different posts on social media, you look at Facebook postings, and you look at the national media, and if that's your guiding light in this, then for the most part, you're being misled. So we're not concerned. We know what the benefits are. We've had it before. We'll do it again, and I think everything will be fine.
All right, Sheriff, thank you. Probably not surprising. We have several ICE questions, but I'm going to try and weave in a few others that we're getting along with that. And the next question is coming in from Jason, and Jason's asking, what's your biggest concern about public safety in Beaufort County?
Well, there's so many different areas of public safety that concern us, and a lot of them are minor. We have our violent crime numbers are very low, and in comparison to the national average, we're well below the national average in all of our crime categories. The things that frustrate people the most, that is irritating and aggravating, of course, is all of the traffic issues that we have in the county. There have been a lot of comments made about the fatalities that we've had. But a lot of the fatalities that we have, and the Highway Patrol works those fatalities, We go in and we look at the calls, and we try to identify what enforcement we could do on the traffic side to reduce fatalities and serious collisions. What does our enforcement plan consist of? And we're doing that, but a lot of the fatalities we've had were medical issues, and resulted in a collision where someone lost their life. So, but the B&E autos are still taking and consuming a lot of time from deputies or reactive work that they're doing, because of a lot of unlocked vehicles, a lot of personal items, handguns, purses, jewelry, and those type things that are being stolen out of cars. Requires deputies and police officers from municipalities to respond to them, which takes a lot of proactive time away from us. So, for the most part, I really don't have a single public safety concern. It's just a lot of things that consume our time. That this population, our population in this county has grown so much. Our tourism numbers are high. Our day trippers are high. So we're policing about 275,000 people a day in Beaufort County, and our bed population is around 200,000. So with that type of influx, you're going to have different issues that you need to tackle every day.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next question is coming from Rob, and Rob is asking, do you have any heartburn about the bridge project and public safety?
Well, this has been, it's almost like talking about the port in Jasper County, but this bridge thing has been consuming to a lot of people, and it's almost, you need to kind of mark the ground to see if you're moving. And yeah, I think the concept is good. I don't know all the little details. I know that the bridge is old; it needs to be replaced. But what does it need to be replaced with? And I think there's, Hilton Head's basically, for the most part, grown out. So I mean, you're probably in the 90 percentile range of an island, a community that's pretty well grown out, and so your biggest numbers are day trippers and tourism. And I think there's a lot that can be done on 278 between Moss Creek and Spanish Wells to make the transition on the island and off the island a lot better. The bridge is not the problem. The bridge is not creating the problem for traffic. Traffic creation in the morning is Squire Pope, and that intersection alone is the problem in the morning time, and in the afternoon it's Spanish Wells and Squire Pope. So we've alleviated the problems at Moss Creek, with the bypass, but the bridge, it's a concept. I know we're moving forward. I think Tom Davis has done a wonderful job working with the town of Hilton Head and the county. But when the rubber meets the road, when construction starts, is when we're going to see most of the frustration, because it's a 3-year project. So when traffic that we see today, and we're frustrated by that, you just need to wait until construction starts, because then you'll see another level of traffic concerns. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that subject.
All right, Sheriff. Thank you. Next question is coming from Linda, and Linda is asking, what does the ICE certification mean for our local immigrant population and workforce?
Well, it means that we'll have probably 2 deputies. I'm either looking at 1 or possibly 2, and the second one will be on a part-time basis. That way we'll be able to identify the worst of the worst. And I know you kind of hear that lingo, but it means exactly what it's how I say it. We're not going out doing inspections at Walmart and Publix and Sam's and football games and golf tournaments and those type things. Our job as this will be an investigative arm of the sheriff's office is to identify those that we're currently investigating for other crimes, to identify their background, their criminal history, and things that we need to know. So the benefit for us is having the technology, the IT capability to do the research and background for those that we're currently investigating that are involved in other situations. So there's a host of benefits. And again, we had this program before; it was very successful, and we'll do the same thing again. And so, look, immigrant community doesn't want problem people in their communities either. So they're very, very good at communicating with law enforcement. They let us know who the problem people are in their communities, and then we'll go in and research and vet those folks out. And if we find that they're wanted in another country, or if there's an Interpol search, or they have a criminal history, or if they're involved in other criminal activity, then we'll deal with them appropriately.
All right, Sheriff, thank you. This just a little bit of a follow-up on that from Linda. I think you answered it. There might be, if there's anything else you want to add, please feel free to. What fears would you say are not reality?
Well, and again, in those public meetings, I asked for local issues that the folks were concerned about, and of course they bring up the masked ICE agents wearing masks and not having names on their uniforms and unmarked cars and doing the things that they do. We're not doing that in Beaufort County. We didn't do it before, and we don't plan to do it this time. So those concerns, and of course I hear the comments made by ICE officials about the reason the officers are wearing masks and their names are not on the uniforms is because of their own public safety, their own safety, and their family safety. So we don't expect. Well, we're not going to do it. Sheriff's office is not going to do that. We police this county every day with smiling faces and names on our uniform and body cameras and all the other things that we need to not only regulate the public but regulate ourselves. So there's no need to do that. We can't control the federal government. The federal government has the right and the ability to do what they think is right, but we're not going to participate in things like that because there's no need to.
Next question is regarding Hilton Head Island, and the question is coming from Steve. And Steve is asking, at any one time, how many deputies from Beaufort County would be on the island?
Well, we have a substation on Hilton Head, and we have investigators that work out of that substation. We have our patrol division that's assigned to Hilton Head, our command staff, our civil process. So we have sufficient number of law enforcement officers on Hilton Head. It would take me a few minutes to count them up. I mean, we deploy based on need. So, and our headquarters out of Beaufort, we run the sheriff's office for the 923 square miles in Beaufort County out of our Beaufort headquarters, and we enjoy and appreciate the opportunity to utilize the substation on Hilton Head, just like we utilize the substation in Bluffton. But we have sufficient numbers of law enforcement officers on Hilton Head.
Sheriff, we have more questions. We only have time for a couple more, as I know you do. Courtney is asking, how do you define success with the ICE program?
Success in any program, but under a MOU, a contract with the federal government, success is us accomplishing the mission, and the mission is to remove bad actors from Beaufort County. And the success in doing that requires us to have a seat at the table, have the technology and IT capabilities to do what we need to do. And when we get these deputies trained and we have all of that in place, we'll see the benefits of the program, and is how we approach public safety in Beaufort County and how we how we treat the program and how we treat our residents and our citizens. So, I mean, again, the program worked before, and we intend to do the same thing we did before, and so I expect very good success on the program.
Last question for you, Sheriff, and Jamie is asking if you just touch on the school resource officers that are currently deployed in Beaufort County.
Well, because of Governor McMaster, and he's done a lot in the past couple of years to help us through a grant program, and he's also done some things with our retirement system that will allow deputies or police officers in the municipalities to return to work after they retired and be a part of the SRO program. We have school resource officers in every school in Beaufort County. And so between the Port Royal Police Department, Beaufort City, Bluffton, and the Sheriff's Office, we have SROs in all of our schools. It's a great program. We've always been extremely supportive of the school resource officer program. The first school resource officer in the state of South Carolina was Dave Brown, and that was the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, and that was the early 1990s. And he was the first SRO in Beaufort County. He was the first SRO in the state. So we're very supportive of the program. They do a wonderful job, and we're very supported by the school district. So everything is working great. We have an SRO in our school on Defusky. So, we're excited to have that. So it's a great program, and we'll continue this program.
Sheriff, thank you for always making yourself available and the input and your commitment. And we thank you for being with us today. And again, thank you for what all you and your deputies and staff do for each one of us here in Beaufort County each and every day.
Bill, thank you. I missed you yesterday. I was at your office, and so I think you were out playing golf. Shame on you. Yes. You didn't invite me, so but that's okay. There'll be other times.
That's right, Sheriff.
It's great to see y'all, and I'm available anytime. So enjoyed it and enjoy this nice weather.
Very good. You as well. Take care.
Take care. All right.
Sheriff PJ Tanner. All right. And I was not playing golf yesterday, but the sheriff was in our meeting, and we're glad that he was here. Next, I'm happy to say that we're joined by Hardeeville Mayor Harry Williams and the Hardeeville City Manager Josh Gruber. And I like to affectionately describe each of them as the dynamic duo of Hardeeville. And we know that from what we're seeing, an unprecedented growth and development there. Lots of people like to talk about Buc-ee's, but there is so much more that the city of Hardeeville and Jasper County has going on than just that we're really fortunate and looking forward to updates from each of you gentlemen today. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Bill. We do have a lot of exciting things to going on in the city, and we're going to start right away with transportation. I'm going to let Josh kick us off. Ask about the questions.
Yep. While we're pulling this up, we wanted to make sure to give ample opportunity to answer any questions that you all may have. And so please let us know anything that's going on in the city, things you've heard, things you've seen, whatever status updates you want. But we want to start off by talking about our infrastructure, as the mayor mentioned. And first and foremost, they had a recent event. I-95 is finally going to get started widening, and there's a big kickoff a couple of weeks ago. Everybody came out, and you see the governor there and Secretary Powell of the SCDOT. A lot of people came to share the excitement of the widening of I-95. So that project is anticipated to be a 5-year project. So it's going to start this fall with the groundbreaking that happened a couple of weeks ago. You'll start seeing the orange barrels going up, and then we'll be in the thick of construction for the next 5 years. And as indicated in their schedule, they're going to start at the Georgia border. They're going to move north towards I-95 or towards exit 9. And throughout that corridor, there's a number of intersections that they need to improve, a number of bridges that they need to widen, and other improvements to facilitate 3-laning of I-95 in both the north and south directions. And so, as you can see here, it's tentatively scheduled that construction for exit 5 will start by the end of this calendar year. Construction for exit 8 will begin and then hopefully be completed within about 3 years. And then overall, the remaining portions of the project to include exit 3 will hopefully be sometime within that 5-year window. The improvements at exit 8 are calling for what traffic engineers say is a diverging diamond. And so it's a way to handle high volumes of traffic through an intersection. And so what you see on the screen here is a set of plans that show what this reconfiguration is going to look like. So for a while there, exit 8 will be under construction. And so we're going to appreciate everybody's patience making their way through that corridor. And they're going to flip-flop back and forth between John Smith Road doing work on that overpass and then ultimately doing work on exit 8 and going back and forth between the two.
We have a number of improvements on the roadways you're going to be seeing already started. For those of you who pass through the Margaritaville light, you know that in the morning there's a lot of backup, sometimes all the way to I-95, which is 2.5 miles away. The improvements will extend the turning lanes and have the dual lefts going into Margaritaville and Hilton Head Lakes. That's an important thing to know because a lot of people who are stuck in that traffic in the morning are headed to their jobs on Hilton Head Island. And so we've been working for quite some time to get that project started, and will happen. Also at John Smith Road, those of you who are in that same traffic jam know that that's a very difficult interchange. The developers and landowners of what's known as the Morgan Tract, which is a large tract of land next to Margaritaville, they've committed $8 million to improving that intersection. And before any development starts, that will be undertaken, including a light. There will be light and lane improvements at the intersection of Argent and 278. Those bids are now scheduled to go out in November. We've already given public notice at the interchange of Argent and Shortcut Road, another very dangerous intersection that we've been working on for quite some time. And we'll be working on the main corridor, White Hardy Boulevard, and US 17. These are all difficult interchanges. Going along with that, the Jasper County Transportation sales tax will add a lot of money to some of those pressure points, including Argent Boulevard, 462, which goes into 170. And for those of you who come down that corridor, you know there's a big traffic jam coming from the north, and also workers trying to get to Bluffton and Hilton Head Island. 278 from the county line to exit 8, there's $65 million devoted to that. And what's important to the Hilton Head residents, you'll see there's a total of $105 million, and that will improve from the 170 at the county line, going all the way through 46 to 315, which heads into 17 to the Talmadge Bridge. That's an important evacuation route, as well as an important route, again, for workers coming from Savannah into Bluffton and into Hilton Head. So there's that whole corridor is going to be greatly improved in the next coming years with this transportation sales tax. the hiring of the managing engineering company, which will be the same company that will be managing the widening of I-95. So there's going to be a lot of coordination to all the road projects that are going to be taking place over the next 5 to 10 years. And of course, at Exit 8, when that converging diamond has been converged, you will see Buc-ee's completing their project and opening up. They are planning and coordinating with the widening and the converging diamond construction. That way, when people do start coming to Buc-ee's, there will be an easy access on and off. There will be 2 roundabouts into the development. There will be a light at 278 and 17, so the people coming off, they can easily get into Buc-ee's, get their sandwiches, get their gas, get their Buc-ee's hat, and then get back on the road wherever they're headed, north or south. So that will also, you can look in the 4 to 5 year range as the converging diamond and the widening all are completed up to that point.
So in addition to the growing residential population of the community, we continue to focus on expanding our job opportunities and our commercial base. And so to that extent, we have a number of warehousing and industrial facilities that are in process, various phases of construction. This is one of them, Clarius. This is where TS Conductors is ultimately locating. They have acquired this building right here, and then they've also taken an option for an additional 1 million square feet within this development. So very excited about that coming online. We have SALT that's making great progress in terms of their earthworks and their site preparations. Again, it'll be $200 million in capital investment by the time it's all done, and they're going to build right around 6 million square feet of warehousing and industrial space, and will create 550 jobs. In addition, we've got Riverport. So of the buildings that are located down here in phase 1, there were 10 buildings. 7 of the 10 buildings have been fully constructed. 5 of those 7 are 100% occupied. 1 is 3/4 occupied, and another is 50% occupied. But again, very excited about the growth that's happening in the very southern end of the city here, and we'll continue to see this growth continue northwards as they add additional phases within their development. And again, at full build out, creating more than 200 new jobs. And then lastly, we know there's been a lot of newspaper coverage about the South Point development. One, we want to make sure it's clear this development is not bringing 14,000 homes to the community. It is 1,400. There was a comma that was misplaced temporarily, but as you can see here, the development's going to have 840 multifamily units, 580 single family units, and then most excitingly, about 850,000 square feet of commercial development. So we're very excited to start seeing that come online. They're continuing to seek the final development permits that they need to start clearing dirt and moving trees and things like that, but this is getting close to coming online. So we wanted to make sure to focus and leave a lot of time for answering any questions that you all may have. And so with that, I will be happy to answer any questions that the committee or the group has.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Very, very good. Our first question is coming from Raymond. And Raymond is asking, how many jobs are you predicting in the next 5 to 10 years in the greater Hardeeville area?
If you look at the what Josh said, with between SALT at 6 million, we have already in progress 4 million at Riverport, and there's expected to be probably in the next 10 years, you can easily add another 4 to that, and the 3 down at Clarius. You see that we're going to have, we're projecting probably 18 million square feet of warehouse and logistics and light manufacturing. There's also 500 500 acres known as the Sherwood tract that we continue to market for an OEM, an original equipment manufacturer, that could bring probably 800 jobs, depending on the industry that goes in, that we think will service the new Hyundai plant, which is only 20 miles from that point. So in the next 5 to 10 years, just doing simple math on what warehousing, logistics, and the number of jobs from TS Conductor, et cetera, I think that you can easily expect 10,000 new jobs in the next 10 years in that southern district that will be serviced by the new Exit 3.
Thank you. The next question is coming from Stacy, and Stacy is asking how many residential units overall are on the books for Hardeeville?
Right now, there's about 20,000 that are in our pipeline, and that's just single family residential. So then you add in the multifamily, and there's several thousand more multifamily units. So altogether, probably somewhere between 22 to 24,000 is currently in our pipeline.
All right, thank you. Doug is asking, what are your long-range plans for preventing Hardeeville from becoming urban sprawl and heavily congested?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important to understand that the planning that takes place is, number one of our biggest concerns is transportation. And the transportation sales tax, which adds $376 million to Jasper County's ability to facilitate the roads. You'll also, what we're doing, like the $8 million I mentioned at the intersection of John Smith and 278, we're getting these commitments from all these developments to not only help our exterior roads, but also there's a series of roads within these developments. And every development, we're looking to put in some commercial, just like we talked about South Point, so that the people within these developments can be get some of their everyday basic needs without going into the major highways, including these are family developments that Josh talked about, having playgrounds, sidewalks, and possibly even schools within the developments. Again, it keeps the people at least partly off the major roads. That's a very key thing. The other thing that we're doing is working very closely with Buford Jasper, with Dominion, and with Palmetto Electric to make sure that there is sufficient capabilities for not only the current construction, but for the future construction. All these things simultaneously, the infrastructure, the road needs, and the open space and conservation of land that we're putting into each one of these developments keeps that urban sprawl from being unmanageable. And you have to understand, and one of the things that is very important, we're permitting somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,400 single-family homes. That's not, those 25,000 that Josh said, they're not going to happen overnight. The roads getting fixed are not going to happen overnight. The new power lines and the new water treatment plants, they're not going to happen overnight. All these things we're planning to happen concurrently so that we do not have a congestion of emerging things happening, that they're all happening together.
Just to put one more point on that, Bill, in terms of the urban sprawl, the city of Hardeeville has adopted a growth boundary and has had that in place for several years now. And we've had some very good meetings with our partners at Jasper County to talk about how that can be used effectively for both the city and for the county, in terms of the county encouraging growth and development to occur and locate within the city limits, within the growth boundary, and thereby they can retain more of their rural character outside of those areas. and then the city committing to only developing and seeing property grow within that boundary and not necessarily outside of it. So that's another way in which we're helping to ensure that there are no concerns about urban sprawl.
Thank you. Thank you for those answers. Another question is coming from Jackie, and Jackie is asking if there are any plans to enlarge or enhance 170, which is already bottlenecking, she's saying.
Well, the original plan was that 170 would be handled by the Beaufort County Transportation Sales Tax. That failed. So right now, the plans to widen that stretch from 462 to 278, and then to handle 278 up to the Jasper County line, which is a $120 million project, will have to be put on hold until Beaufort County determines what their next step will be in terms of finding funding for that project.
All right. Thank you. A couple more questions. The next one is coming in from Thomas, and Thomas is asking, what if any major tax incentives were given to Buc-ee's to get them to Hardeeville?
There were no tax incentives given to Buc-ee's. We do have a plan to reimburse the road improvements that Buc-ee's that will put by themselves, their own money, the roundabouts, the lights, the road improvements at 17 there that are necessary to get in and out of Buc-ee's. And then we will pay them back in the future after they start accumulating taxes from that development, and then we'll use some of those future taxes to pay back at most $8 million.
All right. Next one is, I'm sure you'll get a little bit of a kick out of this one, that Jane is asking about. Rumors have been around forever about Costco coming to Hardeeville. Is there any truth to that?
Well, if there's any truth to it, Costco hasn't told us. They have been in more locations than, where's Waldo? It's at this point, it's been a long time since we've had any communication. So we have no idea if, what, when, and where they have plans for the Low Country.
That was very consistent with many answers I've heard you give before on the same question.
Yeah, so the mayor did not say Costco's coming.
Yes.
Let's make that clear. There's not 14,000 homes at South Point, and the mayor's disconnecting himself from many Costco rooms.
Very good, guys. Well, we appreciate you joining us this morning, and the great work that you continue to do there on behalf of the residents of Hardeeville. And we really look forward to seeing you on October the 15th for our State of the Region again. And I'm sure you guys are already thinking about some great announcements and other things on that day.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy what we have planned.
Indeed. Gentlemen, have a great day. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. The mayor of Hardeeville and the town manager. We're going to switch now and transition to our last speaker today. And you have probably heard and read in the last several weeks about the great news regarding the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, and recently receiving the NCAA Division II status for its athletic program. And it's certainly in no small part to the leadership, the tenacity, the commitment of our next guest. And our next guest is the athletic director at the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, and a good friend to many in the area, certainly to athletics and academics, and that's Quinn Monahan. Quinn, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing all the great things that are coming in this new D2 status, as well as saying thank you for the momentum and all the programs that you brought about every step of the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Bill. Thanks for having me. It's my honor to join you and to join the mayor and the sheriff, and I'm humbled that you would ask me to join. But yeah, happy to share what's happening at USCB. You know, it's been an exciting, let's say, last couple months for sure, but it's been a process. You know, moving from the NAI to NCAA Division II has been a huge step, we believe, for not just our student athletes, but for our university and for our region. You know, we exist to serve the region. That's why we were established 20 years ago as a 4-year institution. We were for, 100 plus years as a 2-year institution out in Beaufort. 20 years ago, we were established as a 4-year institution at our Bluffton campus, and it was to serve our community, to serve our region, and to become an access institution for our region. And I think we have met that goal. I think we continue to serve that mission and then some. And athletics has played just a small part in that. Now, in my world, I think it's been a really exciting time. This venture to go from NAIA to Division II, it was a dream started years ago under our chancellor, Jane Upshaw, who is an absolute hero of mine. I still talk with Jane occasionally and love her deeply. And she had the vision initially to make this happen. And Dr. Panu joined our team 10 years ago, and I recall sitting with him at his interview dinner and sharing the vision of NCAA Division II status for our university. It seemed like a pipe dream back then, but here we are. That conversation happened 10 plus years ago. Here we are actually seeing our dreams come true. So 4 years ago, technically 3 years ago, we entered the process, and it's a pretty laborious process to go from through that provisional process, the membership process with Division II. But with a great team, which we do have at the university, a fantastic team that serves well. We 3 years ago entered that process, and thankfully on July 10th, we received a call from the NCAA Division II membership committee inviting us into full membership for D2. Throughout the process, we've been members of the Peach Belt Conference, which is undoubtedly one of the best conferences in the country. Schools that look, feel, and act a lot like USCB, and aspirational institutions that we can work towards looking like and being like. Even when we were in AI, 5+ years ago, we feel like we established a program that looked very much like D2 institutions. And so it made sense for us to make that move. And so we're very we're happy and proud to be Division II members. And our tagline this year is, "We are the Low Country's NCAA team." We're here to serve, yes, our students, our campus, but to serve and to entertain and to provide opportunities for the Low Country region. Part of that process too, changing gears a little bit, is enhancing our facilities. I remember Dr. Pastides, the president of USC, when he was on campus several years ago when we broke ground for our recreational center, he said, "No great institution exists without great facilities." And I remember that because I believe it's true. And we've utilized the facilities that we have now, I think, to the best of our abilities. And I'm not complaining about the facilities we have. We do a great job with what we have. But our students deserve better. Our student body deserves a better experience. And I believe the Low Country of South Carolina deserves a better experience. And so part of that then is building better and more appropriate facilities for a D2 institution and for what the Low Country needs. So we're looking at building about a 4,000 or so seat arena that will serve certainly our athletics program and our university, but will serve the Low Country. It'll be a venue that we can do, car shows and craft shows and business meetings and concerts at that venue. It will be an exciting, I think, opportunity to serve, to continue to serve our Low Country. Along with that, we'll be bringing our baseball and softball facilities onto campus and a track, which is I think desperately needed as well. We're extremely thankful to Josh and Mayor Williams at Hardeeville for their partnership over the past several years, allowing us to play baseball and softball in Hardeeville. And we have made that our home. And in some ways, we'll miss the Ville. But we're actually really looking forward to being on campus and allowing our students the opportunity to play on our campus. So that whole process hopefully will start very, very soon. We're working on the funding for that, and I think we're having some really great conversations as we move that forward. So we continue to look to serve our community in lots of different ways. And I'm really proud of the team we've built and the things we're doing at the Low Country, the Low Country's NCAA home team.
I like that. The Low Country's NCAA home team. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for that great overview, Quinn. We have several questions coming in for you as well. And the first question coming in is from Terry, and Terry is asking how many sports are currently available at USCB?
We currently host 13 NCAA sports. We have now 6 of those, I'll be honest, are with track and field and cross country. We have outdoor and indoor track and field. So we have indoor, outdoor track and field and cross country. Then we also host baseball, softball, women's soccer, basketball for both men and women, golf for both men and women. And if I didn't already say it, we have women's soccer.
Quinn, I have to ask, and I know the answer is not going to be there, but what's your favorite sport at USCB?
I thought you were going to ask when we're starting football, which the 10th of never is when that will happen. Yeah, I can't answer that question. My favorite sport. I will say I grew up playing soccer. I played soccer my whole life. And there are not a lot of athletic directors out there that have a soccer background. So I think our soccer coach appreciates that. So I do have a personal passion for soccer and enjoy that very much. But my favorites, whatever's in season and whoever's competing. If you want, please come to campus tomorrow, Thursday at 1 p.m. We have our home opener for women's soccer. We play it tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'd love for everybody to come out and join us. I will say that I do really enjoy, and this I might anticipate a question coming up, but one of the sports we are looking at adding, and it's been on our strategic plan for a while and keeps getting pushed a little bit for various reasons, but is women's volleyball. We're looking at, I think women's volleyball would be a really good add for the institution. Volleyball players typically are exceptional athletes, fantastic students, and great community members. So adding another women's sport, and volleyball in particular, I think will be a really good add for our campus and our community.
All right, Quinn, thank you. Another question coming from Ray, and Ray is asking, has NIL impacted any USCB sports?
To a degree, we're not the Division I and we're not the Power Four, so it doesn't nearly affect us like it does a lot of. However, as we know, everything trickles down. We have the ability to recruit some exceptional student athletes that could play at higher levels, but choose to come to USCB for a variety of reasons. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I think one of those reasons is because we have exceptional coaches at USCB. I think one of the most important things that I do as an athletic director is to recruit and retain great coaches. And we've done that. And so part of that is bringing in the best possible talent that we can. We do lose some student athletes because of NIL opportunities and that dream for Division One. So we've lost a couple of those. For men's basketball, our basketball programs just started 2 years ago, and we had our first year in. We had the freshman male and the freshman female conference player of the year. And we retained our female player of the year, but we lost our men's player of the year. Understandably so, he had the opportunity to go get some NIL money, but we've lost our number one golfer, who we won the Peach Belt Conference Championship last year. We were not eligible for postseason play beyond conference play because of our membership status, but we had the number one golfer both in men and women then as well. Thankfully, McLean Neal is returning to the university for her junior year, but we did lose our best our number one men's golfer who won the conference again because of NIL money. So while we're not in a position to be necessarily offering NIL money to that level, it is affecting us in that it's a reality for a lot of student athletes.
Quinn, I remember 13 years ago when you got to town, and you and the Upshaws and our wives, we had a great time at the
That's right.
South Carolina football game. And
That's right. I remember that.
I just want to say that for the last 13 years, your leadership has been instrumental in not only athletics, but also making sure that academic side of it was covered as well. And I think we're all very fortunate from the University of South Carolina Beaufort standpoint that we've had two great chancellors and who have had great vision, exceptional vision. And then also that we've had an athletic director that has that same vision and is really worked tirelessly to bring this Division II status to fruition. And it's huge for our area. It's huge for the region. And Quinn, you're the driving one behind that. And I just want to say thank you for great leadership, great vision, and being great partners to Dr. Panu as well as Dr. Upshaw.
Well, thanks, and I do appreciate it. But I have to say, look, we've got a great team, both with our chancellors and with our athletic staff and our coaches. It is it was a process that took an entire university to make happen. We went through a process, and it's like it's a significant application and grueling process for 3+ years. Without fail, anytime we had a visit from the NCAA, and we did more than once every year, we were complimented on our team, the university, everyone from financial aid to the bursar's office to advising to the president's or the chancellor's office. High praise and compliments for the team that put together our application and put together the program for our student athletes.
Quinn, we look forward to more great things ahead, and fins up, and let's see.
Fins up.
Let's keep winning.
Yes, sir. That is the plan.
Thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to more great things ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. That was Quinn Monahan, the athletic director at the University of South Carolina Beaufort. And we hope you've enjoyed our lineup today with Sheriff Tanner and Mayor Williams, along with the city manager, I should say, Josh Gruber, and then, of course, the athletic director. I do want to mention on Tuesday, September the 10th, next week, we will be having our Links and Legacy Golf Tournament at Colleton River on the Nicholas course. If you haven't played the Nicholas course or you have a desire to play that again, I'd encourage you to get in touch with Laura Alice Henderson here on our staff, and she could get you registered and in for a great day of golf at a fabulous course there at Colleton River. Thank you all for joining us. Happy September, and let's keep pushing forward. Have a great day.